We have only 35 chambers. There is no 36.
I know that. But I want to create a new chamber.
And what would that be?
I think Shaolin techniques should be available to all. So then, that's my idea for a new chamber. To teach the martial arts to the people. Anybody.
All right. Welcome back to My 3 Cents. So what I'm going to start with today is something that's very basic. I want to start at the beginning, right? So what I'm going to start with talking about is energy. That's right. The thing we all need, the thing we all lose, the thing we're always looking for. Energy. We're always trying to keep it balanced. We're always trying to attain enough. Energy. There's gas for your car, there's food for your body. But it's all the same, right? Energy. So when I refer to energy, I'm gonna take it a little bit deeper. I'm gonna go into what we call what we were taught to call the chakra systems of the body. Now I know most people in my culture don't get into this kind of thing, right? We come from a deeply religious culture based upon the predication of the white man. Now I hate to sound this way, but I'm trying to speak plainly. I'm not speaking in a way that's racist, right? Another word that's just created and made up to define one's own opinion. I'm not coming at you like that. I'm coming at you from a perspective of truth, right? These are the people that gave you this stuff that you hold so near and dear to your heart. But these are also the same ones you protest when something goes wrong. So, getting back to the chakra system, being religious and coming from a religious background myself, when I was in that religious mind state, if somebody tried to talk to me about something like chakras and energies and stuff like that, I would walk away probably. I would stay away from it based upon, what I was told and what I was shown. And, that's devil stuff, man. Don't come talking to me about crystals and energy. What's going on with you? You gonna go to hell, right? Very judgmental. That's where we come from. But, as I have progressed over the years, and I want to say it this way on purpose for a reason, I put away those childish things as I grew up and grew out. And guess what? One of those childish things was religion. It was one of those things that I was bred into that did serve its purpose, but it was something I was also able to grow out of, just like anything else you put on. At some point, you should grow out of it. Now, this is the natural order of life. I don't care if we're talking about plants, kids, clothes, it does not matter. You start that plant off in that little pot. Once that thing grows beyond that pot, you either gonna restrict its growth by trying to keep it in the pot, or you're gonna move it to a place where it can flourish, spread its roots, really get the nourishment from the ground, from the source. You see what I'm saying? So at some point in growth processes, I feel it's very important to tap into source, right? For yourself. Now, that's my issue with religion. It's not something that you've done for yourself. It's something that was put upon you and you were told to be a part of. And after a while of being told to be a part of something, guess what? You voluntarily a part of it. Because why not, right? It wouldn't make sense to not be. So, getting back to the topic. Energy, the body, and the chakra systems. What is energy? What is the chakras? How are they related? How does this even make sense? So, first of all, when you listen to my podcast, I'm not really gonna dumb down the conversation too much. I'm really just gonna speak my mind as far as the knowledge goes, man. I'm gonna give it to you plain. This way, you can go and do research, and it might even inspire research to say, man, what? Let me look a little deeper into what he's saying or how he even arrived at this point. He seems like he might be a smart brother that been through some things, and at some point, I'll give you my background, so you'll say, oh, okay, oh, wow, So, the seventh chakra. The chakra, if you don't know anything about it, a lot of people identify it as 7 chakras of the body. Now, there are many more chakra systems of the body, many, many more. And this is that's a whole other conversation, because you have to first understand that the whole is just made up of a lot of small parts that are also whole. So we're not going to tap into that right now. We're not going to overcomplicate this. I'm going to start off at the beginning, the 7th chakra. Now, the thing about the chakras and the energies of the body that you might not know is that the chakras sit in different organs of the body, right? They start off from root chakra, and they go all the way up to what they call crown chakra, which would be your 7th chakra, which is actually at the crown of your head. Now, this is what they tell you, at the crown of your head. They already given you the knowledge. So this is where the crown chakra will be located. From there going down, you would have third eye chakra, right? I know, trust me, if you're Christian, you're like, third eye. I ain't into that, I ain't into the all-seeing eye. But it's on your money, right? But it's also being perverted and used in an obscene way on the money as its own form of what? Energy, right? Right back to the topic. So let's start with root chakra today. Root chakra. Root chakra is often identified in the color red. All chakras are identified by a certain color, right? So this is why things have their own color. Now, what's the difference between one color and another color? Well, if you understand what color is only frequency being made to be seen, right? Picked up by one of your senses. So, color in itself only differs from another color based upon degrees of frequency, right? Just like there are microwaves, you can't see microwaves, and they can go right through you, right? This is why if you have a pacemaker or something like that, you can't be around a microwave. These things go right through the body. You see? Radio waves you cannot see. But when you tap into the realm of waves you can see, you start to see what, light and what they call colors. Now, so these are just different frequencies, no different than tuning the radio. You cut on the radio, there's hundreds and hundreds of stations, but you don't hear them all at once, right? You only hear the one you tuned into. So keep that in mind. So, root chakra is actually where when you first born into the realm, this is where you start, root chakra. Root chakra is based on things like survival, things like, different types of nervousness or anxiety, and just recognizing that you are some type of sentient being and you want to stay here, right? This is when your brain kicks in, the brain is meant to help you live and survive. It gives you all kind of signals to the body when you're doing something risky because it does not want to transcend it, right? And it actually thinks that it's protecting you. So, good example of root chakra, look at a baby. You ever had a baby and the baby does that thing where he grabs your finger and he holds on your finger? All babies have done that. Why? Because this is a sign of root chakra. Baby has no knowledge of self yet, but what it does know is that it wants to stay. And when it feels, that connection to another being that seems to be more advanced than itself, What does it do? It latches onto it and it does not want to let go. This is a sign of the baby exercising their ability to interface with their root chakra. See? So, like I said, man, the chakras are located in the organs. So root chakra actually starts at the base of the spine. You can map these things out by the spine as well. Okay. So root chakra is located at the base of the spine. This is where your fear and anxiety start. Now, from root chakra, you go up to your next one, which would be sacral, the sacral chakra. These chakras, these are English translations of the chakras that I'm telling you when I say root or sacral or solar plexus and things of this nature. These are terms I'm giving you from an English standpoint. You know, these are terms that we have come to, but not necessarily where these things originated, okay? Just like everything else, whether it's the Bible, you know, with all their versions and all this, what you got to understand is that the version that you end up with here in this country is almost never the original. And when somebody has had to translate something for you, you better first realize you do not have access to the original. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean, right? So just to run through this quickly, going through the second chakra, going up will be the sacral chakra. This deals in the genitals. This deals in reproduction and things of that nature. So with the sacral chakra, this is when the child starts to become curious about body parts, right? This is when the child can also recognize whether they're male or female or something feels different about this other person, right? Because they can tell that something is distinct about these people and myself. So they become curious about the parts of the body, what's down there, you know, what is this about? You know, so it's very important for us to keep the kids educated, keep them balanced, keep them safe, right? Because when left to their own devices, they're gonna go out exploring, man, and you know, it just wouldn't work that way. That's why you're the parent, right? You're the parent. You're the parents. You're the pair that rents. You have control over them until they have the ability to have responsible control over themselves. A lot of this is just wordplay. So, coming from the root chakra, which is also called, without this translation, it's referred to as the Muladhara, right? The Muladhara, and the part of that word mul actually means root. So this is one reason that we even call it the root chakra, okay? So since we have moved on from the root chakra that deals with the fight or flight response, it's that feeling you get in your stomach when something's not right. You know, you get that feeling down in your gonads, that area where something just don't seem right. And interesting fact, the sense of smell is also associated with root chakra. And this is why also smells can be nostalgic and they can take you somewhere else that you have previously been, right? In the mind, everywhere, okay? So going back into the second chakra going up would be the sacral chakra, right? Now, a lot of these words, if I try to tell you the original names of the chakra, I might not pronounce them right. But this one would be something like the Swadhisthana chakra. And the sacred chakra, the sacral, is associated with the color orange. Now, you're going to notice something with these colors in a minute. So the root chakra was red, the sacral is orange. Now, this relates to the water elements of the body, and like I told you, the genitals or actual sexuality and reproduction, the reproductive function, desire, creativity, compassion. And if you want to keep if you want to keep going with the senses, this one deals with your sense of taste. Right? These are things you can look into and learn a little bit more about yourself and how you would put together. Okay? There's also certain systems located and associated with the chakras because, like I told you, these chakra systems sit on organs. Okay? The energy of a chakra actually spins and rotates. And this is why sometimes someone will have organ failure. It's actually the knowledge that one of their organs has vibrated at too low of a vibration, right? This is when something seems to have shut down. It had just went into a very low vibration. So this one would be associated with the large intestines, the bladder, the pelvis, things in this area. Okay? Now, the next one going up will be called the solar plexus chakra. Now, if you want to get back to what that one is referred to, it's the Manipura chakra, which actually translates in our language as city of jewels. Okay? So this is the chakra system. This is the part of the chakras that deals in power and personal power and rejuvenation and healing. Its color is yellow, so it deals in sun energy, right? The life-giving energy, life force. This is where they say the energy vortex is associated with fire, energy, and charge and things of that nature. So this is where that real energy comes from, in your gut. This is the solar plexus chakra. Okay, this deals with the element of fire. And when you really have this thing right here in order, this is when you feel most confident, most energetic, happy. You're respecting yourself, you're respecting others. And as far as the sense that it deals in, this one would be associated with sight. And it makes sense because it's gonna deal in clarity of how you're even seeing life, right? How you're seeing your own life. So the solar plexus, and a lot of yogis, Buddhists, different people that practice these things, that exercise them, know that to heal yourself, this is where you go. You deal with the solar plexus, right? We'll get into these things and how you use these chakras in another conversation. This is just the introduction to these type of systems. Okay. So the glands associated with that chakra, I'm just going to tell you, are the adrenal glands, right? This is how pumped up are you? Adrenaline is very key with this part. So moving up from there, we have the fourth chakra up, which would be heart chakra, right? This should be a favorite, the heart chakra, which is also called the Anahata chakra, right? Now, the color associated with heart chakra is green, can also be pink. And this is the chakra that deals in your relationships. A lot of times people think the heart is associated with love, but in actuality, it is the heart chakra. It is the energy of the heart sector that deals in love and relationships. Not the physical heart that has its own function, but that is the organ that the heart chakra is connected to. Okay, so the element that it deals in is the air itself, and your sense of touch. All right, so this would be easy to know because, right, it's how you feel. So your sense of touch and how you feel, these are the play on words, but it is the same knowledge. So you're dealing with, as far as the glands, you're dealing with the thymus, the lymph nodes, those systems of the body. Okay. So let's just, for example, if your heart chakra was out of balance And that's the thing about all these chakras. The point of this is balance, right? You can't be too much into one chakra than the other. Balance is the key. So, when you recognize one of your chakra systems, one of your energy centers out of balance, you need to work on that. Bring it back into balance so you can function balanced as a whole. That is the point. That is the goal. Balance. Wholeness. So, for example, if your heart chakra is lacking, if it's feeling low energy, it's feeling weak, this will actually even cause you to sabotage some of your relationships, right? This will cause you to feel like you can't trust people. You're jealous. All types of envy popping up. This is heart chakra work. So when you recognize people doing that, feeling that type of way, you know where they're lacking. You say, man, this dude needs to read a book or put some frequencies on, man. He needs to balance out his heart chakra, because this ain't right. What did I do? You know, you're in a relationship like, what did I do? Why you feeling like this to me? Why you accusing me? It's your own heart. Because a lot of times the way we act and treat people is just reflection. The way people treat us is simply reflection. So if you want to understand some things sometimes, look at yourself. Look at the situation, look at yourself, right? We don't want to have that victim mentality. We want to understand that everything that comes across our path, we have a hand in, one way or another. So the victim always feels like things happen to them. My life is this. This is how my life is. But the person that can come out of the victim complex or the victim mentality, and it is a complex mentality, they can recognize that they had something to do with it every single time, or guess what? Wouldn't be in your world, you see? So for it to even show up in your world, you had something to do with that. Accept it and you can fix it. You blame, you're the victim. Don't play the blame game. So moving up from heart chakra, we enter the throat chakra. This is the fifth chakra going up. This is throat chakra, or the Vishuddhi chakra. Now, this is actually only trying to refer to what is known as your true self, your true voice. Right? How they say, voice your opinion, voice your real opinion. This is what they're trying to get you to exercise, is your throat chakra, your throat energy. The color associated with it is blue, and it deals in the ability on how effectively you communicate. So when you have somebody, man, they eloquent with the words, hey, a lot of people that came up from the other side of life, man, their street life, your throat chakra is strong. Your hustle game is strong because your throat chakra is strong. You can talk a man out of his shoes if you need to. That's throat chakra. So a lot of times we get to have the benefits of these things, man, but we don't even understand. How do we get these abilities? Where is it coming from? How am I doing this? Right? So these are just ways to understand your own energy, where these things sit in the body, physically and metaphysically, where they sit outside the body. But again, that's a whole nother conversation, because there's levels to this. This is only level 1. So with throat chakra, you're going to have it attached to, if you're talking about the physical, it's going to be like the esophagus, the ears and throat, different places where, the thyroids, the jaws, the teeth, the neck vertebrae, different parts of the body in this section that all affect each other. When one starts to go down, it starts to affect other. You get the sore throat, it starts to give you the ear infection, these different things that we might not realize why they're connected. The teeth hurt, it starts to affect the whole jaw. When one tooth hurts, that spreads to the swollen lymph nodes, the throat's all messed up, because these things are actually one thing, right, in the way that they function. So, when you out of balance with throat chakra, you're always at a loss for words. You can't explain yourself. You can never find the words to express how you feel. right? You can't even use your throat chakra to express your heart chakra. These things are out of whack, right? We'll talk about in a different episode how to balance these things and make sure they don't fall out of whack, man, because that's a bad place to be, right? And also, I want to mention when you're in throat chakra, now you're high up on the body right now. You're in your highest chakras at this point, right? You're above heart chakra. This is where your higher chakras sit. This is like leveling up in a video game. It's the same thing. You start off in that red root chakra where everything's scary and unfamiliar. And when you start to catch on, this is how you grow through your chakras. What I'm explaining to you now by coming from root chakra all the way up to the 7th chakra, crown chakra, is an example of coming in as a baby form, becoming mature, and coming into your adulthood. You know what I mean? It's all the same knowledge, right? So you can take it that way if you want to take it simply. Okay? So, with throat chakra, man, your voice is more pleasant. Your artistic abilities and the ways that you express yourself, whether it's basketball or, whether you rap, sing, whatever it is, you're going to be at your peak when your throat chakra is on point. Okay? This also starts to tap into your spirituality. Like I said, you're in your higher chakras right now. So this is when it really, from heart chakra on up, is when it really starts to tap. They all are linked into your spirit. But from heart chakra on up is when it really starts to tap into your spiritual abilities and actually your ability to gain more spirituality, to expand your spirituality. So it's not always about growing up. It's more so about growing out, right? We don't grow up, we grow out, we spread. From the center at that, right? From that energy point that we talked about earlier. That solar plexus. That's why they tell you if your core is strong, everything is strong, because your core is the key. Okay? And that's just taking it on the lowest level, the easiest way to understand it. Right? After understanding comes understanding, then comes overstanding. These are things that we'll discuss. But to just give you a quick definition, understand, you stand under somebody else's information and knowledge until you're able to really make sense of it. Understand, the information and knowledge is now applicable to your own life. You can make changes using this information. This is when it starts to become wisdom. Then you can overstand that knowledge. When you overstand the knowledge, you know this knowledge inside and out. It has become a part of you, and now you have the ability to give it to someone else, right? That's overstanding. It's the next level. It's like going upstairs. Now you stand over the floors and what used to be your ceiling downstairs. Get it? All right. So, if you're into meditation and things like that, when you have a balanced throat chakra and you practice frequencies and different vibrations of the throat, you can get into strong meditations. All right, let's move up to the 6th chakra. The 6th chakra up, which would be third eye chakra, right? Third eye chakra. This is a lot of people are scared of this, especially if you're religious. Don't be afraid. Religion is not your spirit, okay? You're just choosing to have your spirit participate in religion. Religion is man-made, all right? You didn't come with it. If nobody would have told you about it, you wouldn't be involved in it, right? And you'd actually have more energy to put towards self. So this chakra is called the Anja chakra, right? And that translates into the center of knowing or the center of monitoring. This is why they call it the third eye, and it sits in the middle of the brows. Now, when you gain knowledge, you can understand that they call it the third eye, but originally it's the first eye. Even in your Bible, it's where two eyes become one. But I'm not going to touch on that too much, but it even refers to it multiple times. When two eyes become one. Okay? So this is an ability to see with a different type of sight. Those that have eyes to see and ears to hear, right? This is a different level. We all have eyes and ears, but that's not what they're talking about, right? They're talking about levels at that point. So the color associated with third eye chakra is indigo. And the reason I'm telling you these colors is because I'm going to show you something here in the end. The third eye is associated with indigo. If you don't have knowledge of the pineal, whichever you want to call it, that gland that sits in the middle of the brain, this is what gives you that type of vision. Sometimes you can touch that spot right in between your brow. Feels tender, feels sensitive. I have a headache right there in the middle. Man, that's your spirit. That's something that's trying to expand your consciousness. You all right? And so even if you don't know about it, you're experiencing it because you're here on the plane just like everybody else, going through the changes. But your level of knowledge is what's going to either alert you or not. It's going to alert you to what's happening or not, okay? So, that being said, when you get into that third eye or first eye chakra and it's balanced, you can actually have telepathic abilities, right? Personality-wise, you're very charismatic. You can blend with any crowd. You can get into the minds of the people you're dealing with. That's what makes you charismatic. It's your ability to connect. See? So, people that deal in this area and have it balanced, they don't have fear of death because they know the way they live in is a profound way to live. So they're not scared of death and transcend it, right? So the element that this deals with is electricity, which is also on a deeper level known as telepathy, if you didn't know that. That's why the electricity can travel and do things in the unseen. You don't have to see electricity to know it works. You believe in it, right? You never seen it, right? There you go. So, with that indigo color of the third eye, the sense that it's associated with is thought. Now, they say what? Sense, thought? Yes, the sixth sense. For those of you that don't know, the sixth sense is actually thought. Yes, it is thought. That is the sixth sense. Right, so let's move on. I don't want to make this too long because we're going to do different parts to go a little deeper. The seventh chakra going up, crown chakra. This is the top. This is known as the Sarasraha, the Sarasraha. I never can say these right because it's not my language, right? I'm not even going to pretend that I can pronounce these words right. But it's the Sahasraha. It's very hard to pronounce. It's spelled Sahasrara. So if you want to pronounce it, feel free. But that chakra is it's associated with the color purple or the color violet, right? Now, the color purple, where have you heard that? Right? But that's a whole nother conversation because I can show you how to look at things, TV shows, movies, whatever you want to see, as what they're really trying to show you and what it is really about. So, it is associated with the color purple. Now, the glands or the physical that the crown chakra is associated with is the pituitary gland. It's the nervous system. It's that whole brain region that's associated with light. Okay? So a lot of people don't know the eyes work more like the lens on a projector or the lens on a camera, right? It's the actual ability to make the light from the inside that's giving you clear view. So, this deals in the pituitary gland and nervous system, parts of the brain that deal in light. And when it is balanced, I tell you what these things are like balanced because you can only imagine what they're like imbalance, right? So if I give you one side, you can know that the inverse is what the inverse is, right? So when it's balanced, this is where you get into what they call miracles. This is where you transcend the laws of nature and your actual awareness has been heightened, right? You have realized at this point, wait a minute, there's no such thing as death. I'm a spirit in a body, and before I was in this body, I existed. So even after the body is depleted of its own physical energy, guess what? I'll still exist. There is no beginning or end. This is what you start to realize when you reach these points, when you really tap into these parts of the body. And like I said, man, these all have spiritual reflections that we'll get into a little deeper on further episodes. So, balancing this crown chakra will make you the king of your own life, right? Crown chakra. You got to put these things together. And this is when you stay physically fit, mentally fit, and your financial life, your professional life. All these things kind of come together once you are able to really work with all these chakras as a whole. Once you can balance yourself. That's when these things really come together. Wholeness can be achieved, right? Or at least worked on, because what? Balance has to be maintained. It's not something you could actually just achieve. So that's why a lot of times when people will say wholeness to each other, I hear you, but I don't hear you, because you've never exhibited to me the real understanding that balance itself is delicate. Balance can be upset with a feather if we're just talking about scales, right? So balance is something that has to be maintained. It's not just something you acquire or attain. See? So, I mean, everything in this realm has to be worked at, and it has to be continuously maintained. That's everything. Nothing escapes that. So, just to give you a quick, spirit story. My name is Steve, or Steven. I'm a junior. And my name actually means crown or royalty. Now, I was born under the sign Sagittarius. Some people say Sagittarius, however you want to say it. I like to use earlier enunciations of things because I study etymology and different things of that nature that tell me where these things come from, these terms we use, right? So, coming in under Sagittarius, when I did, when you look that up, man, and you go in deep, it shows you that this sign is associated with crown chakra, right? So is it a coincidence that I came in under the sign associated with crown chakra? The name I was given when I came into this form means crown or royalty. I mean, are these things a coincidence? Let me know what you think. But what I'm trying to give you is an idea, some thoughts. So way to think about yourself. What's your name? Jimmy? Joanne? Bob? Well, what does that mean, right? And a lot of us don't even know what our own names mean, and we've moved on to nicknames. So my advice would be, look into yourself. Pay attention to your energy. Find out what you came here with, why these things are on you. It's all a part of you. None of it's by accident. None of it's by chance. Now, the code I wanted to give you with the colors of the chakra is, with these 7 chakra and these 7 colors, guess where you always see these 7 colors? In the rainbow. This is the big promise, right? That these things will work together to keep you whole. They will never betray you and never forsake you, lest you forsake yourself. So, when you look in the sky next time and you see that rainbow, the chakra system is the exact same, it's the exact same order. The only thing different is that the rainbow, you have to flip it upside down. And now you see the chakras from red root going all the way up to crown. Right? So, just a little food for thought. Something for you to recognize next time you look in the sky and see that rainbow. Something to pop into your mind and say, oh, wow, never noticed that before. Never put these two things together, right? As above, so below. As within, so without. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this podcast. I'm going to end this episode. This has been my 3 cents. If you don't know what that means, listen to some other ones and I'll explain it somewhere. Why it's called my 3 cents, right? It's about balance. That's your clue. So, until next time, it's been great, it's been real, and I hope you got something from it. Wholeness.